Hey everyone, it's Riley and thank you for joining me to set up April in my bullet journal. So today I'm going to walk you through the theme that I am using for April. I'm not using a ton of monthly pages this month. I've been really trying to cut down and only use the pages that actually serve me really well. So there will only be a few pages, but I will also be showing you guys the journal that I'm making for one of you to win to use in 2023. So if this is your first time watching one of my Plan With Me videos, I am setting up a bullet journal to give away at the end of this year, and all of my 2022 themes, including this April theme, will be in that journal for 2023. So if that sounds fun to you and you want to win that journal, please do subscribe to my channel so you can join us for a whole year of planning. So let's get into the planning. I will have all of the supplies that I'm using along with a bunch of discount codes linked down in the description so you can check that out if you're interested. So jumping right into the journal, I'm going to start off with the title page, but I feel like this setup is almost a little bit backwards because the actual design that I'm using, I did right at the very end of my setup. So I'm going to do the title here and then my tasks page beside it, but the actual designs and doodles are going to come right at the end of this video. And I think you'll see why kind of as we go on. So I decided to do another stacked calligraphy theme. I haven't done one of these since November of last year and you guys seemed to like them. So this lettering style I found originally by this girl over on Instagram called Lettering and Me. I'm going to link her account down below because she is way better at this than I am and she blends the colors all beautifully and stuff. So I'm going to link her account down there if you're looking for inspiration for setting up a similar type of monthly title page. And I will be honest, I had a completely different setup planned. The same color palette. I was going to use this color palette, but I had totally different layouts and doodles in mind. And then I turned on the camera and I opened my journal and I just thought, I don't like that idea. I'm just going to wing it and try something different. I've never done that before. I always like to kind of plan it out. I don't sketch it out in advance, but I do have a plan on a little sheet of paper beside me. But this time I really just decided to completely ditch my other plan and do a stacked calligraphy Dutch door because it's been a while and I wasn't really crazy about my other plan. So I was kind of flying by the seat of my pants here, which honestly, I really like. I feel like it's a bit of a challenge, but a good kind of challenge if you're trying to be, artsy and creative. So it's starting to take shape a little bit here. I've got my April title over to the side, which is plain right now, but I'm going to add that design under the Dutch door, which is why it's happening last. And then over on the other page here, I've got my tasks page. So I've changed it up over the past few years and months and whatever, how I like to set up my tasks page. And I will say, now that I've actually started plugging in some of the tasks that I want to complete in April, I think I really like this layout. I think I might have a winner here. I don't want to speak too soon, but I do really like how this one is working for me so far. So what I've got is a big category for work tasks. So YouTube, Etsy, my custom bullet journals, my digital journals, all of that kind of stuff. And then smaller categories for home. So I usually like to have sort of different cleaning focuses for each month around the house, and then other, which is really just, little errands sort of. So I really like how this tasks page works because the brown bars that I'm coloring in right now, that's where I'm going to write what week I want to complete these tasks in. I don't really love just having a totally open tasks page where I just make a giant list of tasks and then throughout the month have to remember to turn back here and figure out when to complete them. Every time I put a task down on this page, I go to the brown bar and I write down which week. So just 1, 2, 3, or 4, I want to complete that task in. So that's what the brown bar is for. That's how that layout works. And just finishing up the title page here, I'm using a really light gray Tombow marker. You can barely see it on camera, but it sure is a shame because I feel like it adds so much dimension to your calligraphy. I'm just adding a drop shadow to the right and bottom side of every letter with that gray marker. And you can do a similar thing, honestly, with a black marker or pen, or you can leave a little gap between the letter and your drop shadow and then use a black pen. I really like how that looks as well. So this is where I really had to get creative, and there was actually quite a long gap between when I did the title page and when I came back and did this. because when I decided to completely ditch my plan and do a Dutch door without planning it in advance, I flipped the page and I realized, oh no, I can't do my normal calendar spread here that I was going to do because the Dutch door cut into what I would normally use for calendar space. So I had to make a quick decision about whether I wanted to, add another page in between my title and my 2-page calendar, or if I wanted to just alter my calendar, which I never do. I love my normal calendar layout, but I decided to try it. Instead of adding a page that I know I probably won't end up using, I decided to kind of condense my calendar page over here for seriously the first time ever. So I do have an April calendar here. Normally I make my calendars 5 doc grid spaces wide by 6 tall. That works so well for me, leaves plenty of space for me to track, like some monthly goals, my YouTube posting schedule, that kind of stuff in the margin. But this time I decided to make my calendar spaces 4 doc grid spaces wide by 4 tall to fit the new spacing that I had to work with. So I'm really not sure how I'm going to feel about this. And I think the thing that I like even less is the fact that I outlined it in black. I love outlining my calendar boxes in lighter colors. So I feel like I might be able to get around the size because, not every day has an event in it. Some days have 2 or 3, so those ones are going to be pretty crowded, but I feel like I can maybe get around the size. But what I don't like is the black outline with the light pink numbers. I feel like that does not really suit me, but whatever. It'll work for a month. It'll serve me just fine. And I did still manage to fit in the other things that I normally include on my calendar page. So I do have my little YouTube posting schedule down at the bottom. I post bullet journal and planning related content every Tuesday and Friday, so you can join me here for those. And that's what I keep track of down on the right side. And then over on the left, I decided to just make a notes box. I change up that box all the time depending on what I feel like I need for the month. And in April, I just wanted something generic, so I labeled it notes. So now, finally, these are the only actual pages that I'm including this month. And it's finally time to do the design that's going to really be kind of the feature piece of both pages, since it is a Dutch door. So this part, sort of a variation of this was involved in my original plan, because over the past month or so, I found this artist on Pinterest and I thought her work was so neat and so cool. Her name is Hannah Myers. I'm going to link some sort of stuff from her down in the description. For sure, some pins. If I can find a website or an Instagram page of hers, I'll link that too, because I think her stuff is really beautiful. And she doesn't actually do it just a 2D flat image. She pastes, textured things onto different surfaces, like walls even. And so I feel like my work here is really just a really, I don't know, flimsy example of what she does. Her stuff is really cool. But anyways, that's what this is based off of. So she just does these really cool abstract designs, but I've done abstract designs before, but I would never think to use some of the sort of shapes and styles that Hannah Myers uses, and I would never think to combine them together. So that's why I was really struck by her work, and I decided to use it kind of as my theme here. So I did use washi tape just to make sure that when I have my Dutch door, I have my design here, I can just peel back the washi tape and have a really crisp edge, which is what I was going for. So the washi tape part is definitely optional and it is going to come off. That's why it doesn't match at all. But yeah, that's the purpose that that is serving. And I did also do that in my November theme, which actually also had the stacked calligraphy title page. So I'm going to link that video up here in case you like this kind of stuff and you want to see some other options. So now that I've got the designs down, this was another snap decision. I was like, should I leave it white behind? Should I color it? I decided to color it. I just thought that it would look cool, especially, when I flipped the cover page over to have that total contrast between the cover and the Dutch door. So I'm just using a light Tombow. Honestly, I do wish that I would have used an even lighter one. I have some Crayola markers from the Crayola Colors of the World set that are even lighter than this. This was just the closest thing when I made the decision to color in the background, but I do wish I would have grabbed some of those instead. And then another decision that I just made on the fly was to outline everything to make it kind of stand off the page. So I feel like this theme kind of was a surprise for me, you know, because the whole time that I was working on this design, I never flipped over the cover page to see if I liked how it looked with my stacked calligraphy. I never practiced it in advance. So when I reveal it at the end in just a moment here, that was my first time seeing it too. And I'm pretty happy with how it turned out. It was definitely spontaneous, but I always love a good stacked calligraphy title with a Dutch door. I've got all my key pages, my tasks, my calendar, a spot to track YouTube, and notes. So overall, I'm quite content with how this April theme turned out. So this is the journal that I'm working on for one of you to win to use in 2023. It's this really pretty sandy color from Michaels. So I have done all of the months up until April. Today I'm just going to show you April, but you can check out some of my other Plan With Me videos if you'd like to see the rest. So here's April. It is a little bit different from my theme because I couldn't do the Dutch door because I actually drew out all of the calendars for all the months before I even started this journal, just because that's what I do. Typically when I make custom bullet journals, I do some of the more tedious pages at the start, like calendars, trackers, that kind of stuff. So I didn't want to just slice right through the calendar to make a Dutch door. So I did make like a faux Dutch door. So it does still match my theme, it's just not cut there. So we've got the April title page, a page for memories, then there's the monthly calendar with some notes. And this is a minimal doodle style journal. So the weekly pages don't have any like big drawings or anything on them, just kind of the key colors. So we've got the title for the month, a big to-do list, and then there's a little spot for really whatever you want. You can use this to plan out just the meals for each day of the week or write the events for each day of the week and then the tasks over here. Or maybe you want to use this more at the end of the day to write 1 or 2 sentences about that day or 1 or 2 things you're grateful for. Whatever you want. There's kind of a smaller section for the days of the week here and then a bigger box to fill with the tasks and the things that you want to be doing each day. And that's all for April. Come back to my next Plan With Me video to see how this journal is coming along for the month of May. Thank you all so much for joining me to set up April in my bullet journal today. I hope that you enjoyed it, and I hope to see you all in my next video.